What is the value of t in the equation? We have 5/6 times t minus 2/5 equals 3 3/4. So I'm going to rewrite this down here so that I can rework it. All right, so the first thing that we're going to have to do is use distributive property. So we're going to distribute this 5/6 to everything in this parentheses. Now I know that 5/6 times t just gives me 5/6t, and I've got to figure out 5/6 times negative 2/5. So I'm going to go up here and say 5/6 times negative 2/5. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. 6 times 5 gives me 30. You don't have to worry about reducing right now, so you're just going to put minus 10 over 30, all right, because that's the same thing as that being a negative 10 over 30. And all of this equals 3 3/4. Let's go ahead and make this an improper fraction. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 3 is 15 over 4. So it equals 15 over 4. So I've done the distributive property step. Now I'm going to have to actually solve the equation. So I'm going to have to get my constant right here away from my variable. It's being subtracted or was a negative. So the inverse is to add it to both sides. So over here I'm going to say 15 over 4 plus 10 over 30. The common denominator that I'm going to use is 60. 4 times 15 is 60, so I'm going to multiply 15 by 15, and I get 225. 30 times 2 is 60. 10 times 2 is 20. So I get 245 over 60. So I get that 5/6t equals 245 over 60. That's the step I'm at right now. Now I'm going to have to divide both sides by 5/6 because it's being multiplied to that variable, and I always do the inverse. So now we're going to say 245 over 60 divided by 5/6. Now I know that when I'm dividing fractions, I keep change, flip. And now I solve. 245 times 6 gives me 1,470. 60 times 5 gives me 300. So I get that t equals this large number. I've now got to make this into something that's not an improper fraction. So when you put that in your calculator, and I'll show you how that works. So 1,470 divided by 300, do you see that you get 4.9? We know that 4.9 is the same as 4 9/10, and that's your final answer. So the final answer is answer choice C, 4 9/10.